I know you gonna dig this.
Get funky with me.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Today here I am in Westminster Memorial Gardens Cemetery in Fayetteville, Peachtree City, Georgia, and I cannot stress how nice and sweet the people that work at this cemetery are. Big shout out to them. They're so very sweet. Giving me directions to the grave of one of the greatest wrestlers, one of the greatest villains of all time, one of the greatest personalities of all time, the Iron Sheik. And I'm looking for little pegs in the ground that have numbers. His grave is unmarked. He just died recently, so it's been more than 60 days. It may not even be a little marker still. It's been way more than 60 days at his grave site. But there's little pegs that say the numbers of each aisle, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 38 first, and then 41, because his daughter is actually here as well, but they're not buried side by side. So give me a second to look around. We're going to talk about the Iron Sheik, his life and his daughter's life. As a wrestling fan growing up, Iron Sheik was the biggest villain. And then as a young adult, listening to the Howard Stern show, he was larger than life and the foul mouth, and what a personality. And then, of course, in the later years, his Twitter account was just insanity, pure insanity, and hilarious. The Iron Sheik. Let's find him. Still looking, but right ahead on your right, there was just a burial just now when I pulled in, so I waited a good half hour. This whole area was teeming with cars, people paying their respects to the loved one who was just buried today. Sad to see, always sad to see something like that. People hugging, and we've all been through it, I know. It's a sad thing. Well, I found the Iron Sheik. Wow. Just by chance. Iranian name. And there's the, what do you call it? Placeholder. Some weird sounds over here. So here's the Iron Sheik. So his daughter's going to be 3 rows behind me, roughly. And over to that side, I guess. In the cemetery in Westminster, come into the front entrance. Look for, if you see past that car there, the rental car, that monument there in the middle, with the graves for ashes. Make a left. Come all the way to the end. Here he is, the Iron Sheik. And there will be a headstone. I was told he will get one at some point soon. I'm imagining it's going to be something pretty spectacular for a pretty spectacular man. In case you're unfamiliar with the Iron Sheik, which I think there is an animal right there rummaging through some things. I'm not sure what kind of animal it is, but I'm going to watch my back. He was an amateur wrestler in Iran. Master of the suplex. His move, the camel clutch. Now, he lost the WWF, at the time, now WWE Championship, to Hulk Hogan. Of course, he won it from Bob Backlund. This is before I got into wrestling, but he beat Hulk Hogan. Beat Bob Backlund, then Hulk Hogan beat him. And that's kind of what started off the boom of wrestling when Hulk Hogan took over, when he beat the Iron Sheik. He had a boot camp match with Sergeant Slaughter at Madison Square Garden. Then, of course, he teamed up with Nikolai Volkov, and they won the World Tag Team Championship at WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania, defeating the U.S. Express, Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo. Thinking of Rotunda because of Bray Wyatt. I just did a video on him recently. But I'll never forget him and Nikolai Volkov and Iron Sheik when he would enter the ring. Iran, #1. So I'll just say what he said. Russia, #1. USA, Haktu. And then he would spit.
Russia, #1. Iran, #1. USA, Haktu.
He was quite a character. He left the WWF in 1988. Then he was in the WCW. Then came back to the WWF in 1991. But this time, he was known as Colonel Mustafa. And he wrestled alongside Sergeant Slaughter. That was a short stint. Then he became a manager in 1997 as a manager of the Sultan. His last appearance, I believe, was WrestleMania 17. When he came back as the Iron Sheik, one night only. It was a gimmick battle royal, and it reignited his rivalry with Sergeant Slaughter. I think if you're a wrestling fan from the 80s, you remember him with Nikolai Volkov. That was the pairing. That's how I remember the Iron Sheik. Now his daughter, he has 2 daughters, I believe. By the way, he was married to an American woman, and the best man at his wedding was Mean Gene Okerlund, the announcer, who he used to call Gene Mean. Now his daughter, his eldest daughter, Marissa, this is sad, was murdered by her boyfriend in May 2003. He was convicted of the crime. And then he died in prison in 2016. He had 2 other daughters, I should say, as well as 5 grandchildren. Apparently he had a bit of a drug problem, some marital issues. Now in 2013, he said that he was done with drugs and he'd been clean for 4 years. There's a documentary on him called The Sheik. It was released in 2014. That's something I haven't seen yet. He challenged Rob Ford, former mayor of my hometown, Toronto, to an arm wrestling match. Of course he did, because Rob Ford was quite the character as well. I don't think that ever came to fruition. I would put my money on Iron Sheik. I put my money on Iron Sheik every time. Now his Twitter account, it was very vile and offensive, but funny, violent, profanity. Apparently he didn't write the tweets himself though. His managers wrote it. But still, you couldn't help but read it in his voice. His tweets. Could not help but read it in his voice. I swear, I cracked up laughing every time I followed him, and every tweet was hilarious. He died at his home here in Fayetteville. I'm going to show you the home. I drove by, took a look at it. I'm not going to say the street name or anything, because I think the family still lives there. That's the home. And his cause of death was cardiac arrest with congestive heart failure and hypertension as well, contributing to his death. Hossein Vaziri, 1942 to 2023. So 58 plus 23, what are we looking at? 81 years old. That, for a wrestler, that's pretty good. I've done a lot of wrestling heroes and villains on my channel, and unfortunately not a lot of them live to an old age like that. So good for Hossein, good for the Iron Sheik. I'm not sure. There's a little kid right next door, and it's very, very, very sad. And I hope that little boy is resting peacefully. So there's the Iron Sheik. His daughter, so I'm looking at 41, 40, 39, 38. So I believe his daughter, Marissa, who, like I said, was tragically murdered, should be somewhere right around here. I think she's actually further in. I could have the wrong row. It's very possible. Well, I'm going to find her. Yeah, it's row 38, so 30, wait. Oh, maybe 41, 40, 39, 30. Oh, so she should be along here. Possibly. I'm shocked that I found the Iron Sheik before his daughter because he's unmarked. She's a pretty big headstone from what I know, what I've seen. Let me look again. 41, 40, 39, 38. Here she is. Our beloved daughter, sister, and friend, Marissa Jeanne Vaziri. I keep saying Vaziri. With each memory, let our hearts be reminded that nothing can ever take away the beauty we have known, for love remains a part of us forever. August 28th, 1976 to May 2nd, 2003. It's one for her, one for her father. And there she is. Stunning, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. A life cut short, tragically. So yeah, right in the middle of the cemetery. There's the office to the left. They'll direct you if you're out here in this area. But you come right in from the entrance where I showed you, along, stop right about halfway down. Here you'll find his daughter. And then walk right along. I'm not sure why they're not buried right beside each other, or it looks like there was no room near Marissa. That's why. So he's probably as close as the family could get. And there's the Iron Sheik right there. And of course, successful, a very successful man. I'm sure somebody might be asking, why aren't they buried together? Well, my best guess is with Marissa's life cut short, violently, suddenly, family in heavy grief, shock, bought one plot. They're maybe not thinking, ahead about that sort of thing, like, not in a bad way, not thinking ahead, just they're dealing with the deepest and heaviest loss one can deal with, the death of a child, their child. So they probably just bought the one plot. So, and these could be plots here that don't have headstones yet, but they're close by. So that's my visit to the Iron Sheik and his daughter Marissa, and rest in peace to both. Marissa, what just so young and full of life in that picture. So sad. And the Iron Sheik, so much laughter and joy he brought a lot of us. What a character. And I hope they're both resting peacefully, and thank you to everybody that works here at Westminster. Just a lovely Georgia, Southern So sweet. Southern hospitality. Beautiful people that I met here. Thank you so much. And thank you all for watching. Rest in peace, Marissa and Hossein. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.